Blessed be y'all, this is Jen Fremont. Thought I'd do a second video here. Kind of talking about holiday stuff because I've been thinking about that too. Kind of obsessing like I was talking in the previous video about. But yeah, in years past, always tried to, put together a holiday celebration, either Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's that, would be memorable and stuff like that. Um, I don't have a whole lot of family left. I got my mom left. And so we'd usually do some stuff, go see a movie or something like that. Which nowadays you can't really do because there's 10 billion people that go see a movie on Thanksgiving. Years ago we used to go on Thanksgiving and, it was okay. It was crowded, but it wasn't so crowded that you had to park 2 miles away. Or you might as well have walked to the theater. So we don't go there anymore. We usually end up watching a movie or something like that. But yeah, putting together something. Memories are something that I have found can be a liability when you make something so memorable, and the next year you try to make it the same or something like that or better, and you end up hurting. You end up disappointed because you can't ever recapture that for the past. And the refuge recovery stuff that I've been reading, and this is a Buddhist philosophy in general that you accept pleasure as I can't think of exactly how they put it, but you accept pleasure with unattached appreciation. And I'm going to try that this year because in years past, that attachment to the celebrations of the past have led to disappointment and to needless suffering. Just because, if I just took it for what it was and enjoyed it, there wouldn't be a downside to it. And that's what I'm going to try to do this year. I'm going to try to live that. I am going to live that. I am going to live that. I'm going to take this with unattached appreciation. In next year, I am not going to compare that to anything. I'm not going to compare this year to previous years because this year is special. It is the only Thanksgiving this year. And that in and of itself makes it special. Not because it's the 100th anniversary or the first Thanksgiving after some event or anything like that. It's just because it is what it is. And I need to remember that. I'm going to remember that for Christmas too. Because Christmas, I had done the same sorts of stuff as compared the previous Christmases. And you get out the old decorations and you look at them and you think about, when you put those up, now 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago even, for me. And you can't go back there. There's a little skating pond thing that we always put out for Christmas that I don't know how old it is, probably 30 years old now. It's just cheap little plastic thing. It probably cost $5 30 years ago. It's been more than that, at least 35 or 40 years ago. But anyway, I take that out and I look at the price tag on it is from a store that no longer exists. But I have fond memories of going to that store with various family members. And it makes me sad when I think about it because those people are gone. That store's gone. I can't buy the same things that I used to buy there. Last time I went to my hometown, that place, they had torn down that. There were two stores next to each other there. They had torn that down and built something new. So, even the building that it was in is gone. And, that happens. And when you tie yourself up in knots trying to, hold on to that past, it doesn't do you any good. And I'm thinking to myself, what real good is it to keep all of those Christmas decorations? The more time passes, the more sad I become when I take those out. I used to think that there were some folks that, they would buy Christmas decorations and whatever was the fad of the moment. And the stuff from 2-3 years ago, they'd throw it away. And I thought to myself, what a waste. But thinking about it now, they're probably better off because they're not trying to hold on to that past that is keeping them from having a happy Christmas. And I can see now how maybe it's time to throw those things away. I've thrown a lot of stuff away since I moved here that I just decided it was time that I didn't want to. Because the happiness and the joy that I used to feel when I brought that out, that I could wrap around myself like a warm blanket sometimes, it's gone. All there is sadness. Why do I want sadness? I was thinking to myself the other day, souvenir shirts. That's one of the things that, I would usually go on a trip every year or every other year or something like that somewhere. And I'd usually buy a t-shirt from that trip. And I didn't have a whole lot of clothes, so I'd usually wear it, at least once or twice a week. So it wore out pretty quickly. Usually, a couple of years when I'm going on another trip, my souvenir shirt from the last trip is already worn out. And it's time to get rid of it and go get another one. And I never did get to the point where, like I have now, because I have a lot more clothes than I used to, so therefore I don't wear the souvenir things nearly as often, and they don't get worn out as quick. So I've got several of them that are, at least 10 years old. And some of them I threw away because it was just like, there's nothing left here. There is nothing left that is happy. They were mostly just, oh, yeah, I remember that. really wasn't any sorrow or anything like that, but it was just there was nothing left, and I was like, why am I bothering to keep this if there's nothing left? And I put it in the trash and said, thank you for your service. And brings a tear to eye just to think about it. But unattached appreciation. That's what I'm going to practice for this Thanksgiving. Blessed be y'all. This is Jen Fremont.